Hi everyone, it's me Living Tree and welcome back. I thought I would give everyone an update on about the channel and where I've been and what's going on. You can see I have the green woman here behind me on the piano, and then I have the green man right here, and I have odds and ends stacked up around me because I have moved. I am in the process of getting a divorce. And in that process, as some of you know who've experienced this, you just tend to, throw things wherever you can throw them in the new place that you're in. And so I'm actually in a new place. And I will be here from now forward until, I decide to move again and relocate. So, I hope you all have been doing pretty good. Even though I'm going through a divorce right now, I'm relatively stabilized in the process. It hasn't been easy, but as some of you may know, if you're in a relationship and you've been in it for a very long time, I was in my marriage for 20 years. You look back at it after you've kind of awakened from the denial that you've been in, and you see that you really weren't happy for a very long time. And that was actually the case for me. I just kind of woke up one day. Well, I actually had a friend of mine help me wake up. You guys know what I mean by that, right? You have a friend that just magically appears in your life and he says, hello, it's time to wake up. That's what happened to me. And in that process, I just decided to start looking at my life in a more realistic, truthful way. And in doing that, I realized, wow, it's time for me to make some major decisions. And I did. And I'm doing it right now. So, and in this process of kind of sharing this with you guys, I started thinking about the channel. And I started thinking about where is it going to go now that I'm going in a different direction, and what do I want to do with this space here on the internet. And I got to thinking about it, and I'm like, I'm going to start doing more of my vlogs talking about just life issues, perceptions, experiences through those perceptions. And just talking about what I've learned lately, which is really a lot of psychoanalysis. And some of you may or may not be familiar with that term, psychoanalysis, but it's actually one that is directly linked to Sigmund Freud. And so right now I've got a book I'm reading of his, and it's called The Interpretation of Dreams. It's a pretty thick book. I'm reading this right now, and basically with this idea of psychoanalysis, it's looking at human psychology, looking at the structure within our minds. Most of you have heard of the id and the ego and the superego in a general psychology class. Well, psychoanalysis jumps ahead quite a bit and goes in to explain human behavior in terms of why we do the things we do. And so that can get a little bit complex in discussion. And I may have some videos talking about some things that will help maybe you all too, in terms of possible mind traps you may be in. A friend of mine uses that phrase mind trap, and I just kind of borrowed it from him. But when we're in a mind trap, we're really at the mercy of our own neuroses or pathology, or in another way to word it is mental illness. And we can get there relatively quick because of the nature of our society today and its unnatural demands on us. So, and most of you know me from earlier videos that I believe I still have those shut off, and when I get settled, I'm going to go through those and kind of organize those. But as I'm learning more about psychoanalysis, I'm starting to realize this explains a lot of why I felt the way I felt in these past videos that I made. So I've really been enjoying learning about Freud's work on human behavior and defense mechanisms and all kinds of things related to human interaction and behavior and perception of self. So I'll just continue to be, I guess, teaching myself about this. It's a liberating feeling when you can go into that area of study, and well, you can go there. You know, you just allow yourself to go and see what Sigmund Freud is trying to tell the people about his observations of psychology. So that is kind of an update as far as where I've been at in terms of you know, just trying to teach myself, stay educated, my intellectual agenda or prerogative. I always got to have an intellectual prerogative. What else has been happening? Druidry, I'm still walking in my druid path. I've actually been going out to my local lake here in the new city that I live in, and I've been really enjoying the wildlife. It's the landscape is set up like a wetlands, so I see a lot of cranes, I see a lot of ducks, I see a lot of bird life, period. I've seen a lot of kingfishers, oh my goodness, martins, crows, oh goodness, blue jays, mockingbirds. Where I live, there's just a whole slew of different types of birds, owls. And the water is beautiful. It's got a lot of brightly colored, I mean, just as bright as the green woman back here. The algae in the water is just super bright. And the fish are in there. I've been teaching my son how to fish, and he's been learning the art of fishing lately. We just bought a bamboo pole. It was around $10, and we've just been baiting the hook with glowworms. And so he tosses that out into the water, and he'll pull up a bluegill. Sometimes he'll pull up a baby bass, brim, and what are some other ones? I think those are the only ones that he's been able to catch so far. So I've just been doing some reflecting on life. When I do get out in nature now, it's more of a quest to synchronize with the energies of nature. It's more of a time for slowing down all of the thought processes of the intellect and getting into the pace of nature. I like to call it the pace of nature because it truly is the natural order at which we should be operating within. And you know, many times we find ourselves literally wanting to make this go all the time, right? And we're going to end up crazy because of it. So there has to be a certain amount of balance that you have in your lives. And so I have found that going out into nature and just getting really close to the water will help that, will calm that down, and it'll bring the mind balance and order in our everyday quest to be a human being without all of the unnatural stuff coming our way, because we got a lot of it coming our way. We got multiple social media sites and platforms that we can express ourselves, and not only do we express ourselves, but we're reading what everyone else is saying. And staying on the computer, getting wrapped up in economy, getting wrapped up in politics, all these things right here can make us truly miserable. And when in fact what we're really needing is just simple, a basic idea here: love. And then, we go around all these other places trying to fill that need with desire. And that's a lot of the trouble there, is that we begin to operate off desire when we really need to satisfy the need for love. And that's a hard thing to give these days, especially unconditional love. So these are just a few things that I'm learning as I travel the path of my life, and the karma that's mixed in with it. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do is cut this off. I may upload another one talking about maybe an extension of what I was talking about just a minute ago, love versus desire, and my thoughts on that. And I will see you guys the next video, okay?